Oh, yes. Could you get me the state guidelines for actually being able to charge somebody to run for office because a fee that is obligated when identifying yourself as a candidate for office? The declaration of inability to pay a filing fee? Yes, yes, yes. In it shall be subscribed and sworn by the candidate before the election official who witnesses the candidate's declaration of candidacy. There's an election official that witnesses that signature of the candidate's declaration of candidacy. Yes. Just give me all the election officials of every election of the United States, because when they witness the candidate's declaration of candidacy that they have no knowledge of any crime, any fraud, any corruption, any contempt, I'm thinking I could sue the election officials for having knowledge of crime when they know that the candidate is lying. Now, when I consider, okay, because I will, okay, somebody as an election official actually signed your fucking candidacy form. Pooch. Now, this inability to pay the filing fee, yes, I want to know every state guideline that allows for an American citizen to run for office when they don't have enough money to pay it. Then I want to know how it's possible that you could actually run for office and not have to pay the fee, but as the accused, you have to pay to be determined the public defender's office expense. Now, I would think, okay, if I am qualified to run for office without the payment of a fee, you're charging me for public defender services is in violation of candidacy laws. So get me all of those that witnessed the declaration of candidacy of every oath of office that thought that they could actually run for office when knowing about fraud and contempt of court. Now, I was thinking about that dissolution of marriage where I didn't get, yeah. Now, it says, when does a divorce case end? Oh, all of the issues, such as property division, arrangements for children, must be settled in order to finish a case. Now, if spouses cannot agree to everything, a trial will be held to settle any disputes. But if spouses agree on everything in a settlement, there's no need for a trial. Oh, when you didn't give me actual notice of the decree of dissolution marriage hearings, yes, it didn't give me the availability of not having to go to trial as the named respondent. Yes. Now that means that it was a kind of a unnecessary non-jury trial. Pooch. It's possible that I could have sat in a room with my wife. We could have talked things out. Yes. We could have came to an agreement that we agreed to settle. Yes. And there was no need for a non-jury trial. Pooch. But the court must approve the spouse's agreements. Now, I'm one of these that if I was to sit in a room with Heidi and I said, well, listen, okay, we did have some debts together and she decided she wanted to file for bankruptcy and I didn't. She's like, well, because I did read this literature, yes. Now there's the effects of a disillusion, and then how there's the computer. If you separate or divorce, make sure adequate child support in place so the children sufficient support. And then there's that many courts require the children in the middle class to reduce conflict about how separation affects children. Now, I did take the children in the middle class, and so did Heidi. Yes, yes, yes. And not giving me notice of those settlement conference center hearings, yes, didn't. Well, it actually obstructed my right for settling with my wife. Could you get me all the non-jury trials of every dissolution where one of the parties didn't get notice of the hearing? Yes, because everything it says here, if separating parents voluntarily agree on arrangements, yes, the court will usually approve their agreements. Agreed parenting arrangements will have to be in the children's best interest. Now, I do not see how it could be in the children's best interest, yes, to issue court orders where you didn't protect my right to due process, yes, or you didn't enforce the RCWs, yes, and it can't be in my sons, the five minors' names' best interest to not obligate me to have court hearings where I could have sat there and had a talk with Heidi about possum. Well, see, this whole thing about issuing domestic violence protection orders, yes, where the wife files for support and you arrest me at the same time, pooch, then files for default dissolution of marriage where she used the wrong last name, yes, and then you reissue the protection order while I'm on trial using a minute order, pooch. Well, I'm gonna sue you for that.